Hello everyone, hope everybody's doing great today. Appreciate those who watch this video. I hope you enjoy it. And today we're talking about Netflix's new movie, Don't Move. In a lot of ways, this movie reminds me of the Steven Spielberg classic Duel. And in that movie, for those of you who don't know, never seen it before, it's basically just two characters. You got a good guy and a bad guy, and they got to carry the movie by themselves. In that movie, you just have a driver, a guy on the highways trying to get home, I believe, or on a business trip, one of the two. I can't remember the details at the moment. But anyways, for no reason whatsoever, a trucker comes up behind him and he's trying to run him off the road and kill him. And so you got that back and forth between those, and you really don't really get to know too much about either character. This is kind of reminds me of this movie. It's kind of similar in that, where you basically just have two characters. You got the two main characters. You got two other characters that come in to the story, but they've really got very small parts into the movie. So if you don't really have the right actors who can really carry this movie could go on south really fast and be really bad. But I will have to say the two leads of this movie do a fantastic job in carrying this. You really get to see their emotions through their facial expressions, through their voices. They got different tones depending on their situation. And do a very good, whatever job of portraying these characters and making it as realistic as possible. To me, this is kind of like I'm pretty sure this would have to be a small budget. You don't really get any CGI or special effects, as far as I know. I mean, there could be a couple instances where there is. There's instances where she's kind of floating down a river. It's kind of rocky. I don't know if that's a real character. It could be a dummy. I don't know, because it's shooting from the top. I don't think they use CGI. And then there's another one, which I hope are fake, but there's a part where she's hiding underneath a tree, and you see all these ants crawling on her face. I don't know if those are real ants or not. I haven't seen the interviews. I hope, for me, as an actor, I'm not an actor, but if I was acting, I would be very hard, to just later let ants crawl on me. And I wouldn't be acting whatsoever. I would be like my real reaction to that, having these bugs crawl on me and looking up at somebody who's trying to kill me at the same time and trying not to move. So, it could have been real ants. If they are real ants, I wouldn't really say that she's acting. I mean, it's probably her real reactions to it. I know that would be my real reactions to that situation that she was in. Also, this movie has very well choreographed. I don't want to say choreographed, but the film, the camera angles, can't talk right now. Camera angles and the scenes are very well shot. And it really tells the story as well, what these characters are going through. I think the director of this movie really had a clear vision of what they wanted to do in this movie to tell this story. There's really no wasted scenes, no wasted movements. Everything is very well done. And basically, you do get into these characters' lives a little bit. Our female lead, she did lose her son. She's very depressed, thinking about committing suicide. And then you think this guy who comes along here, he's going to be your hero, but he's actually a villain who's trying to kill her. But he's kind of a hero at the same time, in a twisted, dark way. Even though he is trying to kill her, he actually gives her a reason to live, Even though she's suicidal, once he gets her to kidnaps her, she's doing everything she can to survive. And, it kind of pushes her character forward, helps her move on from her depression. Does she survive at the end? That's up to you to watch and see this. I did enjoy the story. And, you do see kind of like, I would imagine like the scenarios that occur in this are pretty realistic. She runs into an old man. I kind of feel for the old man, especially in the scene where he bends down. He says, "My knees aren't what they used to be, so it might be a little hard for me to help you." At this point, she can't move. She's kind of paralyzed. That's where you kind of get the title, Don't Move. You know, I was kind of feeling for the old man there because my good old knees here are not feeling as good as they used to, you know, when I was in my 20s. But, you know, he's trying to help her out, and he's just trying to get the idea of what is going on. And, like, the conversation that he has with the villain. You know, the villain is a psychopath, but he's a very good actor. I mean, of course, he's acting, but then the acting that he's doing to try to convince this old man, that he's this woman's real husband. He does a fantastic job, like that interaction and the questioning, you know, is very, very realistic in the ways that she's able to communicate, even though she can't speak, with this old man who's trying to help her. I feel like it's very well portrayed, and I feel like, you know, if this was somebody who was in this situation, that's what they would do to try to communicate their feelings with somebody who's trying to help them. And then you got the interaction between the cop and the villain again. You got these two guys who are completely out of the dark at what is going on, but slowly, you know, with the questioning that they're doing, how the guy is acting, and then how his answers are starting not to make sense over the time that they're talking to him. They're starting to put two to two together. You know, sometimes it's a little too late. Don't really want to get too much into the spoilers there. But, you know, they're the only two other characters are in this. And I feel like those interactions in this movie, anytime, you know, characters are going back and forth, are really clear, really well depicted, and something that you would encounter in real life. This lady also has a lot of reminders, you know, about her son. You know, there's a point in this where a little boy's coming up to her, kind of staring at her, you know, looking at her, and then the mother rushes up to him, you know, because the mother always has an eye out for her son, and she's kind of, you know, remembering, you know, at the time where they were camping and when her son died, how she kind of let her guard down just for that split second, which kind of like in the middle of the movie as well. You know, she decided to fight for her life, and then she runs into that, and it's kind of like a reminder that maybe she wasn't a good mother. If she's a good mother or a bad mother, I'm not going to determine. You know, parents are not perfect, let's just say that. But, you know, if you lost, I can imagine if somebody lost a child in the way she did, and she sees other people being more cautious with their children, it would probably add guilt to them. So I could kind of feel for her in that way. This movie does kind of have a commentary on religion throughout, especially at the end, when she's talking about God and how she doesn't believe that there is a God. She doesn't believe in fate. That would also probably add to somebody's depression and their feelings, knowing that, you know, you would never see your son again because there's no God, there's no afterlife, there's everything is just for now and today. I get to see how that would affect her depression to make her even more depressed. We see her husband at the beginning of this movie, so we don't really know. However, we don't really know the relationship she has with her husband, what kind of support system she has during this time period. We just know when she wakes up, her husband's sleeping next to her. She decides to go on this drive, and then that's all we see of their husband. She doesn't talk about her husband whatsoever, what kind of relationship they're in. Are they kind of distant now? Are they still very lovey-dovey type of thing? We just don't know about that character. We don't really get to know too much about the villain. We do get a little bit of insight of his life, though, when he receives a phone call. We get to see that, you know, he's not really always a dark person. There's like another side to him. He's kind of living like a double life. He's also has some trauma in his past. Well, she's through her trauma, she wants to end her life. Through his trauma, he's wanting to cause other people pain. I believe this movie is worth watching. I would recommend it if you have Netflix. Trying to remember what channel it was on here. Netflix. Check this out. I enjoyed it. I love the time length, by the way, hour and a half. That's like I love hour and a half to 2 hour movies. Anything over that, movies start to get long. in my opinion. So it gets a great runtime. Say it's directed wonderfully, acting's terrific. The story's basic, but it's very well done. Very well shot as well. So check out Don't Move if you ever have the time. If you have the time, recommend it. Have a great day, and bye.